This is question 11 part A, and it tells us that there's a rectangular lawn that has a length of 9 meters and a width of 5 meters to start off with. So I know that we've talked before about our hired acronym, and so importantly at the start we want to highlight the key information so we know that it's got that length of 9 meters and the width of 5 meters. It then says a builder is asked to make a path of width X meters around the outside edge of the rectangular lawn. So for part A, we've got to find an expression for the area of the path in terms of X and give our answer in simplest form. So that means that in the end we're going to have an answer to our area which has got X in it. So for example, 5x plus 3. But we know it's going to be a little bit more complicated than that. So we've highlighted. Next thing we need to do is we need to illustrate. So the first thing we know is that our rectangular lawn has a length of 9 meters and a width of 5 meters. So the first thing I'm going to do is draw that with our 9 for our width, for our length, and 5 meters for our width. The next thing we know is that it's got a path of width x meters around the outside edge of the rectangle. So that means that this width here of our path is going to be x meters long. And so that must mean that wherever around the outside of our rectangle, we're going to have a width of x meters. So that means that on the outside we've got this path with a width of x meters. Now we've got to find an expression for the area of the path. So that's just the bit on the outside, not the bit in the middle. So we know to find the area of a rectangle, it's length times width. So if we look at the width first of all, our width is going to be our 5 plus our x and our x, which is 5 plus how many x's? 2x. Then for our height, we've got our 9 plus our x and our x. So that means we've got 9 plus x plus x. So that's 9 plus 2x for our height. So in order to work out the area, we are going to have to multiply the two of those by each other. And so what we've got is we've got two brackets multiplied by each other. So 5 plus 2x and 9 plus 2x. And at the end we need to remember that we're not including that part in the middle of the rectangle because that's not our path. So we're going to have to take away the area of that, which we know is 9 times 5, our width times our length. So first of all, using FOIL then, so we've got our first, so that's the 5 times the 9, so we've got 45. Then our outers, so that's 5 times 2x, which is 10x. Our inners, which is 2x times 9x, which is 18x. And our lasts, which is 2x times 2x, which is 4x squared. And then we're going to take away that 9 times 5, which is 45. So we've got a plus 45 at the start and a minus 45 at the end. So we know that those will cancel. And that then leaves us just with our final expression of our area in terms of x, which will be 4x squared plus, and the 10x plus the 18x gives us 28x. That's our final answer. And remember that you've got your units, so that would be measured in meters squared. And if you'd like to show off, you could take out the common terms from that expression. So you could say that you're going to take 4x out and inside leave yourself x, which gives you the 4x squared plus 7. This could be because the 7 times 4x would give you the 28x. Now for part B, we've got again to work out the area, But this time it says at the corners of the lawn it's possible to curve the outer edge of the path and still keep the width of the path equal to x meters. So let's draw our diagram again. So we know that that was a width of 5 and the length was 9. So these sides on the outside are going to stay the same. They're still all x meters across. But this time we've got curved edges along each side. But it does say that the width of the path is still equal to x meters. So that means that in that circular part, or that quarter of a circle that we've got x meters. Now we're going to find an expression for the area in terms of x and pi. So if we look at the bits of the area that we need to find for the path, so we've still got our 4 rectangular parts here, which will be the easy bits to work out because we know the area of the rectangle is just our width times our length. But then we've got 4 quarters of a circle to finish. I'll just go over that again in a different colour. So we've got our 4 quarters of a circle to finish, and we know because our width remains x meters at that point that the radius of that part is going to be x. So in order to work out the area, we've got, if we work out the red rectangles first, so we know from the red rectangles we've got 5 times x, so that's 5x. We've got another 5 times x, so that's the one at the top. We've got another 5 times x from the one at the bottom. And then we've got 2 lots of 9 times x from the 2 sides. So we've got this one and the one at the far side. So that leaves us then with our 5x plus 5x plus 9x plus 9x. Now, for the quarters of the circle, we can see that we've got 4 quarters of a circle. Now we know that those 4 quarters, when we add them together, will give us a full circle. And to work out the area of that full circle, when the radius is x, because remember our path is still of width x meters, the area of that circle is going to just be pi r squared, which is what we usually use, but we know that our radius on this one is x, so we're going to have pi x squared. So all we need to do to finish is add those 2 parts together. So from our rectangles, we've got 5x and 5x, which is 10, plus 9, which is 19, plus another 9. So we've got 28x from that part. And then remember that we've got, from our circular part, the pi x squared. So our answer in its simplest form, in terms of x and pi, is 28x plus pi x squared.